How about making sense of Toronto and Los Angeles? Yeah, that's the World Series. 18 innings last night in performance for a victory for the Dodgers. They take the series lead now 2-1 in that pivotal game, which they won last night. Now, we flip it over to tonight. Bieber and Ohtani, still a heavy favorite in this game, up to a -200 at a lot of outlets in a total of 8.5. I'm going to ask you two spread lines, Joe. One for the game tonight, one for the series, which is a -500 price point for those Dodgers.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, the last time we saw Ohtani pitch, Donnie, it was maybe the performance of a lifetime. Strikes out 10 guys, hits 3 home runs. No big deal. Only the fact that he was on base 9 times last night, too, as well, sets another World Series record. But I got to tell you, both teams emptied it last night, and now they got a game here tonight. So that means both of these starters are going to be asked to do a few more innings than maybe usually here tonight. Keep an eye on his line.
Let's talk more baseball next. World Series, Ohtani. Come on now. Rise and grind, rise and shine. It's what we do on the early line. And some people getting to that water cooler here going like, hey, man, I need to tape my eyelids back so I can keep going on today. Because why? We were watching the Los Angeles Dodgers last night in an epic 18-inning game against the Toronto Blue Jays. And we're coming back for more today. Donnie right side, Joe Ranieri. We welcome in Adam Kaufman. Adam, did you have that coffee? Did you get caffeinated? How are you awake today? How did you deal with an 18-inning epic game last night?
Guys, I'll be honest, I don't know where the hell I am. If I look like I just woke up, it's because literally 5 minutes ago, I pulled myself out of bed to talk to you guys. I didn't even have time to splash some water on my face. I feel like my eyes are, like this is unbelievable game. And I'm sure you guys, given the early nature of this show, didn't have the luxury of staying up for this thing, but it was exhilarating. Again, it didn't end until almost 3 a.m. Eastern, and we saw 19 pitchers between the two teams. Obviously, so many different opportunities, never mind in the, regulation, if you will, stanza of the game, the first 9 innings. In the following 9 innings that this game went, as they played 2 a la Ernie Banks, but all at once. In the final 9, there were just so many opportunities that this game could have been won. Whether it was being aggressive on the base pads, arguably too aggressive, guys getting thrown out at home, thrown out at third, trying to steal bases with, like Shohei getting thrown out at second with Mookie Betts coming up to bat, with 2 outs in the end. There were just so many different things that when Freddie Freeman hit that blast to dead center field in the bottom of the 18th inning to walk this thing off, you were kind of thinking they're going to rob him or it's going to fall short at the track. Like, there's no way this game is ending. I mean, obviously, it was the second longest baseball game in postseason history. We saw the Dodgers, who were involved in the other one with the Red Sox in LA back in 2018, a game that I was in the building for. It was amazing. Like during that a game like this, and obviously I wasn't in the building for this one, but during a game like this, as a fan, a true baseball fan, I'm sure everybody in attendance felt the same way. And probably, again, a lot of people who were at home that actually did force themselves to stay up, or if you had the benefit of being on the West Coast, it wasn't as difficult. This game, you didn't want it to end. Like, there was just so much drama, so much fun. You wanted this thing to go all night and keep bleeding into the first pitch of the next game. Shohei Ohtani, who's pitching today, got on base 9 times safely in this game last night. He went 4 for 4. He walked 5 times intentionally. They wanted nothing to do with him. This was just, we could go on and on. This game was so much fun.
It was awesome stuff. And also, when you're watching it play out like in real time, the 18 innings, it's funny because you hear the calls. Like, it was a great TV call to end that game. But some of the radio calls were like, fly ball at the center field, and he's going back. Oh, wait, somebody scored. It's a home run at this point. Like, so many people were like, oh, thank goodness that went out. Now, if you were betting the game, you like that Dodgers money line. It was -200. You like the over that it already hit. So a lot of things going into it. So let's get to the game tonight, Adam, which we don't see too often, an 18-inning game in the regular season, let alone in the postseason and the World Series. How does this game shape up, and who has the advantage today as we're seeing the prices heavily jump now? FanDuel's up to a -210 on the Dodgers today, Adam.
Yeah, and I saw that at -205 right before we came on. Obviously, it's moved 5 cents. It just continues to sort of ping-pong around. And I imagine there'll be an element of that up until the game. Last night I was on the over, and that was sweat-free because it was 4-4, I think, by the 5th inning, and the total was 8. Now, if you got it, whether 8, 8.5, you knew you were in. The one thing that I had that I was kind of sweating throughout that game, but once we went to extras, it wasn't definitively dead, but I kind of felt like it was dead, was I had the Dodgers run line. So I was just sitting there looking for a 2-run homer to try and end this thing. But, unfortunately, that doesn't come to fruition. As far as today's game, well, actually, I should mention the other thing that I was really sweating was I have Dodgers minus 1.5 for the series. So I was sitting there going, at the very least, you got to win this game, because I just don't necessarily see the Dodgers winning 3 straight if they go down 2-1. So that really felt like that was on the line in last night's game as well. So again, fortunately, LA wins that game, takes us into it today where they certainly have the definitive pitching matchup with Ohtani versus Bieber in terms of ability. But I do think, stamina has to come into play. And what I mean by that is Ohtani played this entire game last night. Again, reached base 9 times. Now, was he in the field and exerting all of his energy? He was not, but he was involved in this thing until well after midnight West Coast time. Never mind in the clubhouse after the fact, all of that. Bieber, and I don't know this to be a fact, but I'm guessing that they might have sent him home, back to the hotel by the end of 9, right? Like there's no way this guy was in the ballpark the entire game. I'm sure he went home to get a good night's sleep. At least I'd be pretty surprised if I'm wrong about that. And so, whereas again, the pitching ability goes to Ohtani, the rest factor might actually go to Bieber. So I do see some value in the Toronto money line here. I don't want to do it because personally, I don't want to bet against myself when it comes to my Dodgers minus 1.5, knowing that the Dodgers would have to win the next 2 after the fact to cash that bet. But if I had no pre-flop, pre-series investment, I would probably take the value on the plus money with Toronto because Ohtani could be exhausted out there. The other thing, and I'm curious as to what you guys think about this, I just kind of by default want to go back to the total and say over 7.5 because again, they roll through almost 20 pitchers. These guys are going to be exhausted. I think runs are going to be scored in this game, so I do like the over. But the flip side, if I were to argue against myself, is sure, but how tired are these hitters going to be? Or are they going to be, waving at pitches out of the strike zone that they shouldn't be, going down on swings or sort of half-heartedly swinging at pitches that, they don't make great contact on, and then we see an under just because these guys are wiped. I'm not sure what to do with the total.
I'm interested in that total, too. Like, I would lean towards the over as well. I thought that it was 7.5 early yesterday, went to 8s and 8.5 by game time. I'm leaning towards the over, Joe. What do you say about that? Leaning towards the over tonight?
That's the only way you can look here. And stop pitching to Ohtani, Toronto. Stop pitching to Ohtani. You'll be good to go there. Yeah, well, they're going to have to keep doing it, though. This game, the next game, if there is one, they got to just stop pitching to him. My goodness.
Free passes. Go ahead.
I think the record for intentional walks in a postseason is Barry Bonds with 13, something like that. Ohtani could get there in this series.
Break it.
The MVP for the next 10 years, it's Shohei Ohtani. The MVP of the World Series, it's Shohei Ohtani, people. Thanks, Adam, for rising and grinding with us on this Tuesday morning. Get excited, people, how quickly 2 hours go by. Because why? The information is good, the laughs all the way through, and what you need to know to get caught up with, that's what we provide. And also look forward to what's going to happen tonight. But also understand this. We talk a lot on the show, as we say, but we always like to hear from the people out there. Here's our Fade the Public poll question. Some people are tired on the East Coast. Heck, some people are tired on the West Coast, but that doesn't mean Major League Baseball stops because you got another game tonight, Game 4 of the World Series. We ask questions each and every day, Monday through Friday, for the early line to see where the people are headed in a certain direction. It's easy. Go to SportsGrid, or should I say at SportsGrid on X, follow along. Question asked this morning, will the Dodgers be up 3-1 on the Blue Jays after tonight? Simple question. It basically means that the Dodgers will win this game. Do you believe they will? Absolutely and no were the two answers that were given. 60% of the people say absolutely. Why? Because the Dodgers won last night. They're up 2-1. The Dodgers got Ohtani on the mound, who got on base 9 times last night. My goodness, Joe. I voted absolutely. Minus 200 price. Yeah, looks like that's true.
It's tough, Donnie, because again, the Blue Jays, the way they have been playing and the way they have been built here, the long ball is the great equalizer here. And they are hitting it at an obscene rate, Donnie. They're getting guys on base, they're making contact, and they're giving themselves a chance to have big innings, which matters in postseason baseball. I want to know what's going on with Springer. Is he playing? Is he not? He was having an MRI. They weren't sure. He had a right side issue. He swung the bat, Donnie, grimaced, looked like he couldn't lift his arm. So nobody knows what's going on. That's a big loss if Springer is not available to them, not just tonight, but the rest of the series. But we always said they have a puncher's chance, Donnie. They know they can't go down 3-1. And why not? This is about as even a playing field as they've had, given the fact that they both had to play 18 innings last night. I would give them a puncher's chance. I would fade the public and say, not so fast here. Toronto might have a little something left in the tank here.
Let's see. They better jump on Ohtani early in that game because you do not want to go down and say, oh, no, here we go again as a 3-1 series lead within the Dodgers talking about winning the World Series on their home turf here. But that's just the way it goes down here. Fun question to ask. We'll see how it plays out a little bit later tonight. Let's go, Kennesaw State. For me, I'm going right back to the Major League Baseball diamond. We got some information last night that says, yes, Shohei Ohtani's really good. He gets on base 9 times last night. Hey, don't pitch to this guy, which means if you don't pitch to him and he doesn't swing at strikes that are outside of the zone, he's going to be on base. Make somebody else beat you. Plays right into my wheelhouse here. Maybe it's Mookie Betts. Maybe it's Will Smith. Maybe it's Max Muncy. It's Freddie Freeman tonight. He walked it off last night. I'm betting Freddie Freeman tonight to get an RBI. That price point at DraftKings right now, plus 157. If Ohtani's going to be on base and Mookie Betts can move him over, Freddie Freeman's going to drive him in. Freddie Freeman, RBI tonight. Plus money, plus 157. That sounds like a 2-0 night tonight for the boys, Joe.
Sounds like exactly where you want it to be, Donnie. Freeman with an opportunity to drive a run in. That is exactly what he does.